Any last piece of advice or parting words for an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur out there?
Yeah, look, I think probably my biggest failing is something I'd do differently again is plan a lot earlier for succession. At the moment, my succession plan is very incomplete, and I've got another business in the insurance broking space as well. I've got a slightly better succession plan there, but in the valuation business, it's been a real challenge to build a succession plan. And that's because, as I mentioned, so many of the staff come through, if you like, they're blue-collar backgrounds. They fall into the profession as opposed to selecting it. And as a result, they've got, their goals and aspirations are probably modest in comparison to mine, and the thought of taking on the risk of directorships and shareholdings is quite challenging. And being a professional services business, it's about personal relationships. So trying to find like-minded people in our industry, which is very small in that plant and equipment side, not so much on the property side, but on the plant and equipment side has been a big challenge. And I wish I'd given it thought a lot earlier than I did. Whether I find a solution to that before I retire, which might be in 5, maybe 10 years, I'll just see how I go. I feel young and I'm very driven at the moment to continue growing, and I bought a practice in the healthcare space last year. I'm still looking at acquisitions for our business, but at some point, obviously, you could get struck down with cancer tomorrow or whatever. I don't really have a plan to actually progress the business from that point. So that's probably to get started early and talk to, Jonathan, someone like yourself. I'm not saying that just because you're across there, but you need somebody independent to help you through that process. So I don't think you can do it on your own, and you certainly can't use another member of your team to do it. So it has to be somebody external and somebody who understands that process. I think it's really important. I think going back to the issue of paying staff, I've always had this thing, particularly probably for the first 15 years of my working life, that you couldn't possibly pay someone more than you were paying yourself. And there are at least 2 people in the business that actually on a salary basis, in fact 3 that earn more money than I do, and I pay gladly now because they either reduce my stress substantially or they make me a lot of money. So I think we've just got to get over this thing about where remuneration sits. At the moment, we've got very high inflation, and certainly there's a lot of pressure on wages. So don't lose your key staff for the sake of 15 or 20%. If you're in doubt, go and have a chat with them, see what they're thinking, and put the money up early rather than waiting until that the resignation that is dropped on your desk, and then you want to take probably very dire action in terms of trying to get them back, and that's often very difficult. It's very hard to do that.